What's up, everybody? Is your profile not level 40 yet? Are your heroes not the level you want them to be? Are you still missing that favorite master skin on your favorite hero because you're not enough level or you don't have enough gold? In this video we explore how to gain gold and XP in Heroes of the Storm and how to maximize and optimize and grindifice. Now of course the easy way to gain experience and gold and HUDs is to play the game. That's a given. But if you want to optimize and you want to get it as fast as possible, as effective as possible so you can reach your goals, stay tuned because we'll explore every option in this video. My focus here will be how you get the most reliable XP and the most reliable gold in the fastest way possible. There are many pros and cons with playing versus the AI or the quick match, but I'll go over each of the things that I factor in when deciding what to play to get the most out of my game time. When you play quick match, you might get up against a team that's really good, so you have no chance of winning. But if you win a quick match, you get more gold, so that's something to consider. Also, if you play versus the AI, chances are you'll probably win, especially if you play at the lower settings. But does this yield the same amount of gold and experience for each game? And how fast can you complete these games compared to the quick match games where the reward might be higher but the risk is greater? The first thing I want to talk about is how you gain the raw gold you can get from completing different achievements in the game. The first and most easy one you can do is to do the tutorials. Even though you might be really good at the game already, if you haven't done the tutorials, you really should, because you get 1000 gold for a minimum effort and a minimum amount of time. You access the tutorials by clicking the menu button and heading into tutorials. I've completed them, but if you haven't, you'll see a gold reward in each of these check marks and you'll get 1000 gold just for completing this tutorial. It's highly recommended if you need gold, so just go ahead and do that. The next thing you can do is to check your player profile progression. You access this, clicking your portrait and clicking player progression. You can see I am level 40 in my profile, but when you look at this list you can see there are tons of gold rewards during the leveling process of your profile. Reaching level 40 will award you a total of 16,000 gold, which is quite a lot and easily enough to get you at least one master skin if you want that. You can also use all this gold to of course unlock new heroes, which leads me to the next point. If you look at my profile here, you can see there are a lot of heroes unlocked and there are a lot of heroes who are just over level 5. All the heroes on the roster, even those I don't own, are above level 5. Pretty much. Not Cho'Gall yet, because you need another player to play that. I do this because it unlocks 500 gold for each hero you get to level 5, which is a lot of gold because there are a lot of heroes. Another mark to hit would be level 9, which awards you 750 gold, and you can keep going from there because there's also rewards at level 15, but that's a long way to go and a lot of XP to gain. I usually only focus on getting them to 5 unless the hero is really fun or it's a hero I particularly want a master skin for. Now the most efficient way to get gold by far is to do your daily quests. You can check your quest log by clicking this icon. As you can see, I have one quest remaining for today. I need to play 3 games as a specialist hero. You can check your quests here and then you can cross-reference with your hero roster to check which heroes you have available to complete the quests. You can do this in 2 ways. I usually do it by sorting by using these buttons up here. Checking the quest, I see I need to do a specialist game and I can press the specialist button and I can see which specialist I have available. Easy. You can also mouse over the different heroes you have. If you have several quests, you might have a specialist and a StarCraft hero, which you could do on the Sergeant Hammer hero. You can mouse over any hero and also see if any quests fit this hero. Very handy. Now this is where things get a little geeky, cause when you've gotten all these easy modes to get gold out of the way, what can you do with the rest of your playtime this day? You might have a whole Saturday of playing planned and you only have quests for like an hour or maybe 2 hours of play. But how do you gain the most experience and gold if you don't have any quests and if you're max level on your profile and if you're gonna play a hero that's already maybe over level 5 or 9 or even more? Do you play quick match or do you play versus? And if you play versus, do you play versus the beginner bots or do you play versus the elite or something in between? Do you include AI teammates or don't you? I'll explain all the different ways to get gold and XP as fast as possible, and I'll also give you my recommendation. I'll try and spare you for most of the behind the scenes math about this to make it more accessible for you. But anyway, let's get on with it. Now, if your profile is not level 40 yet, or you're playing a hero that is not level 9 yet, besides from doing the daily quests, experience gain is the best way to gain more gold in the game. So we need to figure out how to gain the most experience in the shortest amount of time. Now to do this, I've played a lot of games in all the different styles with different team setups and friends or no friends and anything you can think of. Now in order to test and compare all these different ways of playing the game to get the most XP and gold, we need to figure out a way to compare each game to each other. The way I've done this is to calculate the XP gain per second. This is relatively easy. You just take the amount of XP you gained after the game and divide it by the number of seconds you've spent in the game. Then you have XP per second. And now you have a comparable number for each game so you can figure out how to optimize properly. Now when going for fast and reliable gold and XP, you want as much of a controlled environment as possible. This should by default rule out the quick match. The only experience difference between quick match and AI games is that if you win a quick match you get a bonus, but only if you win. There's also a difference in the amount of gold you get. If you lose a quick match you get 20 gold, if you win a quick match you get 30 gold. Even though you only get 10 gold when you play versus the AI and win, quick match is still less superior when gaining XP and gold, because quick match is not as a controlled environment than when playing versus the AI. Because you can meet a very good team, especially if you're on your own. Games can tend to drag out if you're against an even team, you can get pummeled on if you're against a superior team, so I highly recommend you play versus the AI if you're going for the fastest and most efficient way to gain gold and experience. Now if you want skill experience for yourself personally, I wouldn't recommend going versus the AI, but this video is about getting the most XP and the most gold, so that's why I recommend playing versus the AI. Now, how should you play and which level of difficulty should you pick? To know that, we need to figure out how the game generates experience for your heroes and your profile after a match. The way XP is calculated is the more XP you get in a game, the more XP transfers out to your profile and your heroes. So we need to figure out how to get the most XP in a game. Now in order to figure this out, we need to know exactly what XP is based on. And in a specific game you gain experience from hero takedowns, taking down minion waves, clearing mercenary camps, doing objectives, and of course taking down enemy buildings. What is not factored in is the level setting of the AIs you're playing versus, so there's no reason to take harder AI bots if you want to clear the map fast. You do not get more experience for playing elite bots compared to beginner bots. Now, how much experience can you gain from a specific map? It goes without saying that 2-lane maps yield less experience than 3-lane maps, because there are less buildings to take down. However, the playstyle goes for all maps. The most XP you can gain is by taking all the buildings down before you kill the enemy core. Before you have taken all the buildings down, there are a lot of XP to gain in the map, because every building will yield a lot of experience. However, when you've taken down all the buildings, there are not as much XP to gain. This is because that your team level will surpass the enemy team level a lot, so hero takedowns do not yield as much. It is also because that when there are no more buildings to take down, the amount of XP you gain per second is reduced a lot. So this is a good time to take down the enemy core. This means clear all the lanes and then kill the core. To do this very effectively, you need to make sure that you have a hero in each lane, just as when you're playing a regular game, to level fastest. The faster you level, compared to the enemy team, the harder you push, the faster you clear, and the faster you kill the enemy core. It's a lot easier to coordinate when playing with friends, because you can take a lane each. But when playing with AI team members, I strongly recommend that you check the minimap, and if you see an empty lane, you go fill that lane. In my experience, it's never worth it trying to order around the bots to follow you, because they will play more stupid. Many times have I seen a bot following me and get stuck in some kind of moving back and forward loop, which doesn't really benefit anybody. Alright, we're coming towards the big conclusion of this tutorial, so I'm just gonna sum up what factors all this info is based on, and then I'll give you the conclusion of how to play depending on what you want to achieve. Now the factors figured in this tutorial are game types. Do you play quick match or do you play versus AI? Do you do the 1-lane rush? Do you do the full clear? What is the AI setting? What is experience based on? Perfect team composition, bad team composition, default mix of heroes composition, number of lanes in a map, number of games, load times, profile leveling, hero leveling. A lot of stuff has gone into making this tutorial, I've tested stuff like the perfect team composition for fast clears or for full clears. I've also tested bad team compositions with heroes that are very bad at clearing lanes and pushing the core. I've also done a lot of tests with the default mix, aka when players just pick whoever they want. It's also a big factor how many lanes are in the map. As mentioned before, 2-lane maps yield a lot less than 3-lane maps. Other stuff that's been taken into account is, what are your goals? How many games do you play? Remember, you get 10 gold for each completed game if you win it, versus the AI. This also means that the more games you do, the more gold you will get, but you also need to worry about more load times. It's also very important how high level your profile is and how high level the hero you're playing is. If you're playing a non-max level profile with a non-level 5 hero, this is the most experience and therefore the most gold you can get by far. When you factor in daily quests, if you can do this at the same time, the amount will be even higher. Alright, here we are, conclusion time. To play most efficiently and to gain the most experience and gold you can possibly get in the most reliable way, you should play like this. Play versus the AI on the beginner setting. You always clear all enemy buildings before you clear the core. One lane rush might seem better on the surface, but for full optimization on gold and experience gain, clear all buildings. Always soak all lanes, aka have a hero in each lane. It's easier to coordinate with friends, but if you're playing with bots, you should fill empty lanes. Always do the objectives of the map. They yield a ton of experience and will help you clear the level faster and will give you more experience when the map is done. Only clear mercenary camps if you're with friends, so you can clear them super fast and are close to due to your map objectives. Do not miss out on lane experience. Only go for hero takedowns if they come close by. Do not leave your lane to hunt them. That's it. Now you should be all set to grind some experience and gold for your heroes and your profile to get master skins or new heroes or anything you want. Now a big shout out to Aurora and Azuva, who helped participate in many of the test games. Now every hero has at least one great grinding build, and I'll be making a guide for each and every one of the heroes in Heroes of the Storm. There are already a few guides on this channel, but subscribe and get fast access to coming guides in the near future. You can also leave a comment about what guides you would like to see next. Alright, that is nearly it for this video. If you want to have fun while doing all this, I strongly recommend you play with some friends or you play with people you meet online. It can make the experience much more fun and there will be less of a chance of you burning out while you're grinding. I also recommend you put some great music on. I always do this. And if you're into progressive electronic music, I strongly recommend you check out this SoundCloud. Now I hope this wasn't too geeky for you and I really hope you find the information useful, so put on your grinding hat and start grinding. A side note is that I don't have a grinding hat, I have a grinding cloak. This is also a possibility. Do whatever you want, but as long as you just remember to stay positive and keep on practicing.